Dear students, welcome to this session. In this session, we will discuss some more examples for analysis of algorithm. In previous video, we have discussed the example for analyzing the algorithm, the sum of n numbers. Here, how to analyze the algorithm if that algorithm contains a nested loops, and if the algorithm contains or the loop contains the branching statements. How to analyze the algorithms? Okay, so in that view, we will discuss some example. Consider this example matrix addition, okay, because which contains a nested loop. How to analyze this algorithm? Matrix addition, actually the input is the two matrices n by n matrix. So assume that we are the input and matrices are the square matrices. So the dimension is the n by n. So here a of 1 to n, 1 to n, these are the indexes, the input, another input b, okay, and c is the output, okay, which is going to store the sum of what the matrices a and b. It's a very simple algorithm. I need to start the loop, outer loop for I equal to 1 to n, and then I need to start a inner loop j equal to 1 to n. Okay. In each iteration, ijth value of what a and the ijth value of b will be added. That will be stored into what ij value, ij position of in the C array. So this is a simple code. So how to start analyzing this algorithm? What will be the complexity of this algorithm? Okay. So anyhow, what for analyzing the complexity, we need to what count the number of operations. How many operations is going to be happened approximately, that we have to what count. So consider this is the one, that is header, for loop header 1 to n. So I always told what 1 to n means what, upper minus lower plus 1 is the number of iterations. Okay, upper minus lower plus 1 is the number of iterations. Okay, that is a true part. Plus 1 is for what, false part, that we can do it, or we can ignore that one. So simply we can have what, n plus number of iterations for what, the outer for loop. How many times the loop is going to be executed, that you count it. The plus 1 false condition, we can ignore it because it is a constant. Okay, anyhow that complexity is going to be found in terms of what, n. Okay, so that a constant 1 or 2, that can be what, ignored, because finally in that expression, once we are finding a polynomial expression, the constants is going to be what, ignored. So that simply we can count what, the number of iteration for every loop, how many times the loop is going to be executed. So for that you can use the formula of what, upper minus lower plus 1, so that this step okay is going to be executed for, because we have told 1 to n you execute, I equal to 1 you execute, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, and then up to what, I equal to n. So simply what, n minus 1 plus 1, which is equivalent to what, n times. Okay, so how many times the loop is going to be executed means what, 1. So what we have done here is we have ignored that false condition. That is one additional comparisons what we are ignoring, that's all. Okay, if you want to add, that also add. If you want to add means what, it will be a n plus 1, that's all. Okay, the next this iteration, that is 1 to n, this loop, inner loop is going to be executed for how many times. So this count, how can we find, n upper minus lower plus 1, that is what, n minus 1 plus 1. So that many times that content, that is what, this for loop content is going to be executed. So the number of iterations for inner for loop is what, n minus 1 plus 1, correct? But this for loop itself, okay, that entire j for loop itself is going to be executed for how many times, that is a n times, because for I equal to 1, that loop will get executed completely 1 to n. For I equal to 2, again the loop will be executed for j equal to what, 1 to n. So j, I equal to 3, I equal to 4, I equal to 5, up to what, I equal to n, that many times that loop will get executed. So if that loop get executed, that is the inner loop get executed only one times, that number of comparisons inside, that is number of iterations, is what? N minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so that is going to be executed for what? N times. Correct? N times. So here we have encountered what? Number of iterations. So this is the n iterations we have entered, that is inner loop, that is that the body of that outer for loop is going to be executed for what? N times. So n times this loop is going to be executed, that is what? N into what? N minus 1 plus 1, which is equal to what? N into n. Okay, so that's all. If you are assuming that the false, if you are including the false, this will be plus 1. Okay, here also if you are assuming what? False condition, here we have to add plus 1. So n plus 1 into how many times? That is a n times only, because that content will get executed one less than what? The for loop body. Okay, for loop what? Header. So that if it is a n plus 1, this is going to be executed for what? N times. Here there is no change, but here what? N minus 1 plus 1 and plus 1. So it will be n into what? N plus 1. So we need to write n into what? N plus 1. If it is a n plus 1, here it will be what? It will be what? N into what? N plus 1. Correct? That comparisons. So here this comparison, that is this assignment is going to be executed again what? N into n times. So this assignment I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, that assignment is going to be happen for that n times. Okay, this assignment j equal to 1, j equal to 2, j equal to 3, how many times that assignment is going to be happen is what? N into what? N times. And this addition and assign to that c, this statement is going to be executed again for what? N into n minus 1. So 3 statements we have what? Encountered. 2 and then what? 3 operations we have encountered. So the complexity time complexity T of what? N. N means time on based on what? Input n. That like that we are going to take. So that here what will happen is what? T of n equal to, I have to add n, this n times that assignment, plus n squared time what? This assignment, and plus what? N squared time that calculation, which is equivalent to what? 2n squared plus what? N. We need to prove that that belongs to big O of what? What function. So what is the simple method is what? We need to what? Take that n power highest term. So n power 1, n power 2, I have to consider what? N power 2. So I can ignore this, I can ignore the constants. So we can say that this belongs to big O of what? N squared. No need to prove that is belongs to this one. So if you are getting the polynomial expression, just consider the maximum power, that is this is equal belongs to what? Big O of n squared. So that the complexity of this algorithm T of n is equal to what? O of what? N squared. Like that you have to what? Prove it. Okay, suppose if you are not taking this square matrix, instead of that if you are taking m by n matrix, n by m like this, if we are considering this matrix, the complexity will be based on both the size, that is the row size and the, as well as what? The column size. So what will happen here? I loop will get executed 1 to what? N. J loop will get executed for 1 to what? M. So that this will become m into n. This will become only n. And this will become what? M into n. So that what will happen? N in n plus m into n plus m into n. So here m into n, that is it is depending on 2 variables. That is the input is a 2 now. So I need to what? Represent the complexity in terms of what? O of n and what? M. So that it will become, it belongs to O of m into n. Okay, so n, this term containing only the n, this term will contain m into n, this term will contain what? M into n. So I have to consider the maximum term. So n plus m will be greater than what? The n term. because both m and n will be the positive. So in that case, m into n will be greater than what? N. So that I need to consider the maximum term. So that will become O of what? M into n. So that is in case of what? Two different. If the complexity depending on what? Two variable, then we have to what? Consider like this. Here we have taken only what? The square matrices. So that what we are expressing the complexity in terms of only that size. Row and column is the same, that is a n. So we are representing this. Consider another algorithm, matrix multiplication, which involved three nested for loops. In that case, how to analyze this algorithm? The input is again what? Two matrices, square matrices, A of n by n and B of n by n, and output is that C matrix with the same dimension. Okay, so this is actually that algorithm for finding the multiplication of the two matrices. Here we will have to start the I loop with 1 to n and j equal to 1 to n. The matrix addition means C of ij equal to A of ij plus B of ij. But here, to find that C of ij term, we need to do some number of multiplications. So I have to use another word for loop. So k equal to 1 to n. So A of ik and B of kj have to be multiplied. Okay, that have to be added with this one. So this is the procedure for finding the one term, that is a C of ij. So next iteration first iteration C of 1 will be calculated. For this loop will get executed one time. For C of 1 2, again the same procedure will get executed. There also we need some number of multiplications. So that this is involved with three nested for loop. Okay, I within that j, within that k. So like that, if that algorithm is there, how to analyze it? Okay, so the same procedure, you start counting the number of operations. Okay, here upper minus lower plus 1, that is a n minus 1 plus 1 equal to what? N times. Okay, so it means that this loop is going to be executed for n times. Okay, it means also what? The I equal to 1, I equal to 2, like that how many assignment is going to be happened is n. And this is what? J equal to 1 to n. So that n minus 1 plus 1, that loop is going to be executed for how many times? N times. So that is a n equal to what? N squared time. Okay, and then this assignment is going to be happen for what? Again, this is a inner loop, that is a one time. Okay, so that loop is going to be, j loop is going to be executed for what? N squared time. So n squared into 1 what? N squared. So this is going to be happened for what? N squared time. And this loop k equal to 1, k equal to 2 is going to be happen for n squared time into each, that is this count is what? N minus 1 plus 1, that is a n, which is equivalent to what? N cube time. So this k iteration means what? N minus 1 plus 1, and this loop is going to be executed for how many times? N squared. So that what? N squared into this counter. So n cube time. So this inner also is going to be executed for what? N cube time. Okay, so that 5 operations is encountered. So 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 5. So I need to find the complexity, time complexity, like T of n equal to n plus n squared plus n squared plus n cube plus n cube, which is equal to what? 2n cube plus 2n squared plus n. I need to consider the maximum one, so that what? It is belongs to what? O of n cube. I can ignore all these things. So that the time complexity for what? The matrix multiplication is equal to what? O of what? N cube. we will discuss another example for analyzing the time complexity, which is a linear search. In previous examples, matrix addition and multiplication and sum of n numbers, the number of iterations are the fixed. It means the loop is going to be executed for fixed amount of time. For example, here for I equal to 1 means compulsorily what? That loop is going to be executed for n times. I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3. Up to what n? It means that at any cases, okay, the loop is not going to be terminated in between. Okay. So that number of iterations is what? Compulsorily is going to be what? Executed as specified in that algorithm. Suppose if you have written some algorithm in which what? The loop will executed for n times. But it is not sure that the loop will get executed for n times completely. It means that in between, during the execution of that iterations, the loop may get terminated based on some conditions. It means that inside the for loop, if you are using some if statement, if the condition is arrived, okay, you break from the loop, okay, or exit from the algorithm. Like that, if you have written some statement, it means that for I equal to 1 you have specified, even if you have specified, the loop may be terminated in between. Okay, so in that case, how to analyze that algorithm? Okay, so for that we have taken one example, linear search. First we will write that algorithm. So this is a linear search algorithm. Okay, problem is what? Searching an element from the list of elements. So the input is what? An array, the list of elements, and that element to be searched, that is a key. Okay, so array with what? Fixed size n. So we are going to do the searching a number from n numbers. So linear search means the element is going to be what? Compared with all the elements one by one. So the element is found or not, like that, one by one we are going to check it. So in between that element is found, it will the algorithm will get terminated with the result as true. The element is found. If it is not found in between, it will be executed completely up to n. After searching all the n numbers, at the end of comparing the key with all the n numbers, it will return the false. So that if you are assuming that 15, 5, 25, 30, 20 as the input, and the key element is a 25, that you are going to search. These are the input. So what is the procedure is the 25 have to be compared with the 15 first. Both are equal means immediately it will be returned to the caller. So element is found. If it is not equal means it will go to the next number. So iteration will go to next number. Then same the 25 will be compared with second element. So I equal to 1 and up to it will be get incremented up to the 5, correct? So that when I equal to 2, the 25 will be compared to a of 2. I equal to 3, the 25 will be compared with 25. Now the 25 is matches. 25 matches means the loop will not continue. Okay, once the element is found, with this iteration the loop will get terminated. It means that the 25 will not be compared with 30 or 20. Immediately the result will be sent to the caller. So the element is found. It means that even that array contains 100 elements, 1000 elements or 10,000 elements, the element is present in the third position, the remaining comparisons will not happen. Correct? Like that, the algorithm is going to be returned. Okay, see that for I equal to 1 to n. Okay, when I reach the 6th, that is the n plus 1, it will get terminated. The loop will get executed for n times. In between, we added the condition, that is if a of I is equivalent to key, no need to continue the loop, no need to continue the algorithm, just immediately return to the caller of that algorithm with the result true. Okay, so that here what is the result is, If a of I equal to key, then we are going to what? Return the true. True means what? The element is found. That result is going to be written. So what is the use of the return statement? Whenever in an algorithm the return statement is executed, means the algorithm itself will get terminated with that result. That's all. So that means the rest of the iteration in that for loop will not get executed. The rest of the iteration in the for loop will not get executed once that statement is read. So here in this algorithm, what? I equal to 1, the condition is false. False means what? This loop, this if will not get executed. And the next iteration will be what? Execute. I equal to 2, second element will be compared. Again, what? This content will not get executed. I equal to 3. I equal to 3 content is that comparison is true. So here what? This content will get executed. So return true. It will be what? Return to the caller. Okay. So this is the what? Algorithm. Here means there are two termination, that is a two exit way for that for loop. One is the for loop may exited through what? Satisfying this condition. In between the element is found, through this it will get terminated. Or suppose if we are going to search the 35 is not at all in the list. So what will happen is, for comparing the elements 15, 5, 25 and 30 and 20, the condition will not get satisfied. Element is not found. In that case, when I reached that n plus 1, the loop will get terminated. It means after comparing all the elements, the loop will get terminated. Once the loop get terminated through this way, it means that we have compared, we have checked all the elements, the element is not found. So it will return the false. Okay. So there are two exits. One is if element is found through this way, if element is not found through this way. Okay. So in both cases, what I have to what? Analyze the complexity. Are you clear? So we will start analyzing the complexity here. Just check it. This condition. So this loop I equal to 1 to n. So n minus 1 plus 1, which is equal to what? N times. Okay. And this comparison, that is the a of I equal to key. This is the what? Active operation in that algorithm. What is an active operation means? The operation which is going to be happen more often in that algorithm. Okay, which is going to be executed more times. Okay, that is called as what? Active operation. So if you are encounter that operation, it is enough what? For analyzing the complexity. Okay, instead of what encounter each and every operation, if you identified the active operation, that is which operation is going to be executed more often in that algorithm. If you are encountering that operation only, that is a maximum number of times that operation is going to be executed. So if you are encounter that, we can say that complexity is proportional to the what? This number of operations like this. Okay. So here this is an active operation which is going to be executed more times than any other operations. Okay, so here a of I equal to, that is a comparison operation. How many times this operation is going to be executed means what? N times? It's a question mark. Which is not, this is n times, that is what this is. So this operation is going to be executed for n times and that loop is going to be executed for n times. Okay, so this is what? The question mark. It means that is depending on, that is how many times that operation is going to be executed depending on that input. Okay, there are two cases of input we will consider. That is a case 1. Input cases. Okay, the case 1. Okay, suppose 15, 5, 25, 30 and then 20 and the key element is a 15. Okay, this is the TA and this is the key. This is what? One case. And case 2, same 15, 5, 25, 30 and 20. Okay, this is a A. and the element to be searched key is I wanted to search the 20. Okay, so this is the second case. And the case 3. Okay, case 3, that is a 15, 5, 25 and 30 and then 20. This is a A, and the key is that 35. 35 is not at all present. Okay, so your number of comparison, this is the key operation. So both are n plus n means maximum. Worst case what? Maximum n plus 1 n is what? N. So the number of comparison is going to be happened, okay, based on these input cases. So it will differ based on the input values. Suppose the key element is passed as a 15. How many comparisons is going to be happen? 15 will be compared with what? That 15. That is only one time. Okay. In case what? In this case, 20 means how many times the comparison is going to happen? 1, 2, 3, 4 and then what? 5 comparisons. Suppose third case is a 35. The key element is not at all present in that list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then what? At the end of the fifth iteration, the loop get terminated, written the element is a false. So in that case also what? 5. So the case 2 and case 3 are the same. Okay, it means that the element is present at the last position or the element is not at all present at the list. That will be considered as a case 2. Case 1 is what? The element is present at the 1. Okay, so in case 1, okay, if the element is present at the first position, okay, in the position, the execution time is not depending on that input size. Even what? 1000, 10,000, 50,000, if you are increasing that n, if the key is present at the first position, 0th position, in the first iteration itself, it will return the true. It means that the loop will not get completely executed. Okay, the loop will be executed only one time. By the time the algorithm itself will get terminated. So that what? The number of comparisons is going to be happened for what? Only one times in that case. So it is a constant. That is what? O of 1. Are you clear? So even whatever the n size, the element is present in the first position itself, we are getting that best complexity. Okay, that is a O of what? 1. So it will, the time will not get increased even that n is increased. Okay, the case 2 and 3, this will be what? Merged to 1, because both the cases the same. The 20 is present at last or the 35 is not at all in the list. Okay, here case 2, here if suppose if you are considering the element is not at all present in the list, how many comparison? 1, 2, 3 and 4 and what? 5. 5 comparison. That is what? Which is equivalent to what? The number of elements in the list. That is the n. So in that case, the T of n is equivalent to what? O of what? N. How can we find? Means what? Suppose if you are assuming entire loop is going to be executed, it means that n times. And this comparison n times. So n plus n is what? 2n. 2n is equal belongs to what? O of n. So that what? Simply we can write T of n equal to what? O of n. So the case 2 or what? Case 3. Case 2 or case 3, the time complexity will be what? O of n. So this complexity is called as the best case complexity. This complexity is called as the worst case complexity. Okay. So worst case complexity is nothing but in worst case input, what will be the complexity? Okay. Worst case input, what will be the complexity? Best case complexity means in best case input, what will be the complexity? The input is the best, what will be the complexity? The input is the worst, in that time what will be the complexity? So which complexity we need to consider is best or worst? Don't say best complexity needs to be considered. The best means the complexity is not the best. The time is not the best. The execution time is not the best. The best case complexity means in best case input you are getting, in that case what will be the complexity? You will get the less complexity. Okay, less execution time. But we always consider what in mind, what will be the worst case input for my algorithm. In worst case input, what is how your algorithm will get executed, what will be the execution time for what the worst case input. Like that only we have to what consider. So always we have to consider the worst case complexity. Worst case complexity means if the input is the worst case input, so by the time how your algorithm will give the execution time. Okay, because what it will not be always for the best case input. Okay, so we need to consider the worst case input. Okay, so that the worst case complexity for the linear search is that O of n. So for any algorithm we need to consider the worst case what complexity only. In some algorithm they will consider the average case complexity. Average case complexity means what? Suppose that element is present in between, that is, suppose you are going to search the 5 or going to search the 25 or going to search the 30 like this. If you are going to search the 5 means what? Number of comparison 2. If you are searching the 25 means comparison is 3. 30 means 4 like that. So the element is present in between the list. That will be considered as what? Average case complexity. If you want to analyze the average case complexity, we cannot say there is a O of 2, O of 3, O of 4 like that. Because it is depending on the size. If the size is input size is 100, 1000 means what? It may be that 500, 200, 200, 300 like that. So we cannot say this is the average case complexity like this. So if you want to analyze the average case complexity, we need to consider the probability of what? Occurring the key element at the particular position. What is the probability of occurring the key element at the second position? What is the probability of occurring this key element in the third position? Like that I need to consider all the probability. So is this depending on the average case complexity is purely depending on the probability of the input search element. Okay, so that we have to analyze by considering the probability of that input, but no need to what analyze now the average case. Just to consider the best case and worst case and average case. What is the best case, what is the worst case, and what is the average case? Always we need to consider the worst case complexity for that. Some algorithm may what consider the average case input, but analyzing the average case what somewhat difficult. We need to what include the probability method. Okay, so what is the probability of this input? What is the probability of this kind of input like that? Okay, so that is the average case. In linear search, the average case complexity also is proved as what? O of n only. Okay, so it is nearly to what? Worst case what complexity like that they have proved, and that the average case complexity also what? O of what? N. The only point you have to remember is best case complexity is nothing but the complexity for the best case input. For best case input, it will give the less, it will take the less execution time. Worst case complexity means is that execution time for worst case input. Worst case input, it will take what? More execution time. So you should not say that my algorithm complexity is O of n, that is a best case. Always we have to consider only what? The worst case complexity. What will be that? Like that. Okay. So this is a way of analyzing the algorithm if it contains the loop, contains the branching statements. Okay. The next we will discuss one more algorithm for the maximum subarray. Okay, so first you understand what is the problem and what are the algorithms we are going to discuss for what? The maximum subarray. Okay, so in explaining this problem, okay, we will cover one of the algorithm design technique called what? Divide and conquer. Okay, how it will be applied for what? Solving the problems. That technique will be applied for the solving the problems. First, you clearly understand the problem statement, maximum subarray. Okay, the problem statement is input for this problem and what will be the output of this problem. The input is nothing but an array of elements. Array of what? Elements. Both positive and what? Negative. Okay, both what? Positive and negative elements. So what you have to return is maximum subarray. Subarray means what? A sub-array from the main array. Okay, and what is the meaning of maximum means? We need to obtain one subarray whose sum of that element should be the maximum. That's all. Okay, so what will be the result is a subarray of input array, okay, whose sum is maximum. Sum of what? Elements. Sum means what? Sum of elements is the maximum. That is output. So example, still if you have the confusion in input output, just you observe the example. Suppose if that input is like this, that is what? -1, 3, -2, what? 5. So that array contains a mixture of negative and what? Positive numbers. Okay, if that array contains only the positive number, there is no meaning of this problem statement. Okay, so if that array contains both positive and negative numbers, okay, what will be the maximum subarray? Subarray means this is the index what? 1, 2, 3 and then 4. This is the array index as we have considered. Okay, subarray means -1, 3 is one subarray. -1, 3, 2 is one subarray. But what? -1 and -2 is not a subarray. Subarray means what? This is a continuous number. Some continuous numbers from that what? Array is a subarray. Okay, just picking some random numbers from that array is not a subarray of what? Array. Be clear the definition for subarray. Subarray is not a random numbers from that array. Picking random number -1, -2 and 5 is not on what? Subarray. So you can say that what? -1, 3, -2 is a subarray. So if you are picking the continuous number, that will be considered as what? The subarray. Okay. So what are all the possible subarray means? If you are considering the individual elements, that is a -1 alone can be what? Considered as one subarray. 3 alone will be considered as what? Subarray. And -2 will be considered as what? Subarray. And 5 will be considered as a subarray. So first you are finding what? The subarray with what? Length equal to 1. So all the subarray length will be what? 1. So individual elements will be considered as what? 1. Okay. So then what? The subarray with the length 2. Length 2 means what? We cannot say -1, -2. So we can say what? -1, -3 as an what? -1, 3 as an one subarray. And 3 and -2. This continuous 2 will be considered as what? A subarray. 3 -2. And -2, 5. Be clear, 3, 5 cannot say also a subarray. Subarray means continuously. So these are the possible subarrays with length equal to what? 2. Here with length equal to what? 1. Here the length equal to what? 2. And length equal to 3 means there are two possibilities. That is a -1, 3 and then -2. Another possibility is what? 3, -2 and then what? 5. No other possible. For length equal to what? 3. For length equal to 4, I can say entire array as a subarray. That is a -1, 3, -2 and 5. That also will be there in that subarray content. So L equal to what? 4. So these are all the possible subarrays first. Okay. From this subarrays, we need to pick that maximum subarray. Maximum subarray means whose sum of elements is the maximum. So what you have to do, find, after finding that all the subarrays, I need to find the sum. Here the sum is the -1, the 3, -2, 5. So we can ignore what negative terms, only the 3 and the 5. 5 is the maximum. So among the 4, 5 is the maximum. Here -2 plus what, a 3, that is a 2. 3 minus 2, that is 1. -2 and a 5, 3. Okay, here among this 3 is the maximum. Already we are having that 5. So after checking this subarrays from here to here, the 5 is the maximum one. Next you compare here. -1, 3, -2 is a 0. Okay, we can ignore, which is not greater than the 5. And then 3 minus 2 and then 5. Add it. 1 plus 5 is 6. So 6 is greater than this one. So this is the maximum now. Okay. So we can ignore this also. This is the maximum. That is a big sum because the summation is 6. Here if you are considering the entire array, -1, 3, 0, 0 plus 5, 5. So that what? After checking all the subarrays, so this subarray summation is what? 6. So it will be chosen as what? The maximum subarray. So that will be written as what? Output. With that, sum is what? The 6. Okay, so this is the problem statement. Okay, this is the problem statement. So array is the input mixed of positive and negative values. We need to return that subarray from that main array whose sum of elements should be that maximum. Okay, so we are going to discuss 4 algorithms for the same problem. With the different complexities. Okay, 4 algorithms are exist. We'll discuss the analyzing that complexity also. First algorithm is a brute force method. Brute force method means we will look for only obtaining the result. We will not concentrate on what? Execution time. It will give the correct result. Okay, if you analyze that algorithm, the complexity may be what? Somewhat worst. Okay, so brute force method, in that algorithm, the complexity is what is going to prove as O of what? N cube algorithm. And the second one also that brute force. Okay, by enhancing some operations. Okay, so in that the complexity will be reduced to what? O of what? N squared. Okay, so here we will reuse some computations, so that what we can reduce the number of operations. So that is the O of what? N squared. The next one is what? Divide and conquer. So we are going to apply the divide and conquer approach. So if you apply this, the complexity will be reduced further to what? Is O of N cube. Further it is reduced. Further it will be reduced to what? O of N log N. So that algorithm complexity, divide and conquer approach, one algorithm we are going to discuss. That algorithm complexity is what? O of N log N. Fourth one is what? Another algorithm we are enhancing. We are not going to apply that divide and conquer. We are going to enhance that algorithm so that the complexity is going to be reduced to what? O of N algorithm. That is a fourth algorithm. So we are going to discuss 4 different algorithms for the maximum subarray. Just you observe how that complexity is going to be reduced if you are changing that what? Algorithm. Okay, same problem we are having the different what? Methods, but it is differed in that complexity. Okay, suppose if you are designing this algorithm, your algorithm is a worst algorithm. If you are going for this algorithm, your algorithm is what? Worst algorithm. Okay, so if you know that divide and conquer approach, it can be applied for what? Other problem statements also. Okay. So we will discuss that algorithm one by one and how to analyze this, obtain this complexity. Okay, O of N cube, how to obtain this complexity O of N log N. So those things we will discuss in the next session. Okay, if you have that doubt, you can ask. Okay, we have discussed some example for the analyzing the algorithm. If the algorithm contains the nested loops, Okay, if the algorithm contains 2 nested for loop, 3 nested for loop, and then what if the algorithm contains the branching statement inside the for loop? And we have discussed the worst case and best case complexities. Okay, worst case and best case complexity is needed this kind of in this kind of what the problems for the matrix addition and subtract multiplication. Okay, the best case and worst case and average case, everything will be that O of n squared only, because there is no different cases. So whatever the cases of the input, okay, the complexity will be the same. Okay, O of what n cube. But here the complexity will be differed in that input cases. Okay, so that only we need to what convey this best case complexity, what is this, and worst case complexity, what is this, like this. Okay, for this kind of problems we have to what say that. Okay, and then we started the problem maximum subarray. So it need 2 or 3 classes to what complete these algorithms. Okay, we will discuss one by one. First you understand the problem first, what is the maximum subarray and what algorithms we are going to discuss. Okay, if you have a doubt you can ask. Thank you.